Sunbeams in the Sky Volume Review. Mangaka Monika Kaname may have already made her English debut with Demoted to a Teacher. The strongest sake raises an unbeatable class. Available manga up, but it is manga was based on a light novel. The creator was only responsible for the artwork. However, now we are seeing an original work all of their own as Yen Press has released the first volume of Sunbeams in the Sky. Does it prove interesting? Let's find out. The story follows twin sisters, Himari and Miya Akeno, who after spending every moment at each other's sides have chosen to attend different high schools. Miya is initially upset by this, but Himari promises to meet and talk to her once a week. She'll be living in a dorm, so she won't be at home. And Miya understands deep down that this is the right decision for her sister. One day, Himari is confessed to by a fellow student by wishing to focus on her studies. Himari decides to turn him down. Unfortunately, this leads to him hiring a group of thugs to attack her, and the next thing Himari knows, she's waking up in a hospital bed. Thereafter, she becomes a shut-in, but she still dreams of being able to attend school and living out ordinary days as her sister does. Miyu wants to make Himari's dreams come true, particularly now that the few months have passed since the incident, and she thinks that she has a perfect plan. One morning, she begs Miyu to go to school in her place as she caught a cold, but instead of calling in sick, she figures Himari could just pretend to be her. Plus, most importantly, her crush, Asaka has a basketball game that day, and Miyu wants Himari to cheer for him and take pictures. Reluctantly, Himari agrees to the plan and heads to school, where she runs into Miya's seatmate, Sukiyono, who she initially mistakes for Asaka, and she is quite handsome. She ends up relying on him to get drunk today, partly because she quickly discovers Miyu didn't back any of her textbooks. Later, when she attends the boys' basketball game, Sukiyono protects her from being hit by a stray basketball but being too close to a boy, so suddenly gives Himari flashbacks to her attack, and she roughly shoves Sukiyono away before running off. Once back home, Himari asks Miyu to apologize for her, but Miyu reasons that she couldn't be apologizing for things that had nothing to do with her and tells Himari she should just attend school in her place again tomorrow and fix things herself. Reluctantly, Himari does go to school again the next day and after that as well, but she knows these can't last forever. So what will happen when it all ends? Despite looking the same, Himari and Miyu are very different in terms of their personalities, and Miyu's best friend, who is told about the swap, is quick to warn Himari that her mature and quiet attitude is likely to appear odd compared to Miyu, who's dizzy and constantly pestering Asaka for attention. So it's too risky to keep this up for long, particularly as Sukiyono is beginning to notice a difference between the twins. But Volume 1 of this series doesn't get far enough to deal with any of that. So for now, we're left wondering when and how it's all going to come tumbling down. This series is already complete in Japan. With 3 volumes, there is not a lot of room to develop the story, which may prove a blessing and a curse. Right now, mangaka Monika Kaname is clearly trying to focus on the romance, with Himari falling for Sukiyono, and whatever is going on between Miyu and Asaka, and that's fine, but this is the tie back to Himari's incident and desire to return to school, and because it doesn't focus on her fears, that part of the plot just doesn't fit very well. It's disappointing to see Himari's attack, but Asai is nothing but a device to get her in the position, but we should go swap places with Miyu. Likewise, her fear for man only creeps to the surface when the story needs to move along. After all, her first day sitting shoulder to shoulder with Sukiyono, there were no problems. It's an inconsistency at best and actively frustrating at worst, depending on what you're looking for from the series. As far as the romance goes, it's difficult to get invested in Miyu and Asaka as it comes off completely indifferent to her existence, when Himari is easy to see why she's falling for Sukiyono. Given his kindness on her first day, but as this whole story started with her turning down a boy to focus on her studies, it's against inconsistency. I'm hoping some of these problems smooth out as the series goes on. Although there's not a lot of time for that. It's a shame. The manga has gotten off on the wrong foot too, as Konami style is attracting and clean, but also offering plenty of detail. Although it is technically a shonen series due to running in G Fantasy, the style of the art is more akin to shoujo, and will surely attract readers of both demographics. As previously mentioned, Sunbeams in the Sky Volume 1 comes to the West thanks to Yen Press and has been translated by Julie Jonowich, with lettering by Rochelle Ganshio. The release reads well with no issues to note. There are some translation notes included, but these are only placed before the final chapter, so you can easily miss them. Also of note is that the fact that there is a color page at the beginning. Volume 2 of the series is due for an English release in August. However, the third and final book has yet to be scheduled, meaning There could be quite a gap, which is a shame when it's the end. Overall, Sunbeams in the Sky Volume 1 is get out of a bumpy start as it fails to stay consistent with its narrative nor keep the beginning relevant. However, if it smooths out these issues going forward, and there's potential for the short series to be charming, your mileage will vary a lot based on what you want for this one, and that's okay. 6 out of 10.